Hey, welcome to day 79 of my spiritual journal with me. And today I'm going to be talking about health freedom. So, health in your business, health in your relationships, health in your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your environmental health, and your spiritual health. All the things, all the things. So, welcome to this episode. If you are new to me, my name is Iona. I'm the host of the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast. So, today, I have my journal, so grab something to journal with if you don't already. This is my spiritual journal notebook. It's called the Soul Legacy Journal. I call it 365 Days of Your Spiritual Awakening Story, a co-created soul path to spiritual alchemy for lightworkers, because I personally, when I went through my spiritual awakening and my dark night of the soul, many things did not look and feel the same as I was building my spiritual business. And I wanted to build a healthy spiritual business, have healthy relationships, have healthy emotions, and actually a healthy environment, all the things, and just to really look after myself. So that is the purpose of talking about health freedom today. Health Freedom Tuesday is one of the freedoms that I talk about as I go live every single day on Soul Legacy TV. So if you are new to me and you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing to the Soul Legacy TV. Share this out, invite a fellow lightworker in to join us in talking about all things health in business, and also to Bank 50k in 50 days. Our Bank 50k in 50 days challenge is about health, having a healthy relationship with money, and I'll talk about that at the end. So like this, share it out, click the notification button, and you'll get notified when I go live every single day talking about my 7 freedoms. So health freedom is on a Tuesday, every single Tuesday. There is a playlist somewhere around here on the Soul Legacy TV. If you're watching in the Soul Legacy Academy, then I will support you and coach you around what I call these 7 freedoms. So Monday, I talk about contribution freedom. Tuesday, health freedom. This is an acronym called the Cheers to Financial Freedom Frequency for Intentional Living, if you don't know. Wednesday, I talk about emotional freedom. Thursday, I talk about environmental freedom. Friday is relationship freedom. Fridays, spiritual freedom Saturday, and financial freedom Sunday. So we want to talk about spread the health out for all of those areas, how healthy you feel. So we're going to use our spiritual journal to journal this process out so that you can have a spiritual business and have more freedom in your life and that light work and lifestyle balance. So how about that? Does that sound good? Hopefully it does. Like the video if it does sound good. So what I usually do for my spiritual journal is I talk about gratitude. I bring in all my spiritual practices. You'll have your own, and hopefully this will inspire you to be consistent and follow through, and just get real deep clarity. So I talk about gratitude, which I'll be talking about in a second. Not in a second, throughout this episode. I talk about chakras and crystals. Today it's the tiger's eye crystal, which represents, and I'll tell you why I've got that. So hang on. Crystal for the sacral chakra, what I've done is picked a crystal to balance that out, to represent the sacral chakra. This is or to connect to it, is tiger's eye, good fortune, prosperity, and inspiration. So before I came on, I actually just had my gratitude stone and my tiger's eye, and just did some Ho'oponopono, because I like to do that before I come on. Just close my eyes and just slow down and intend my way into this episode for you. So it's Sacral Chakra Tuesdays. So Robin Nutt, if you are new to me, Robin Nutt is the host of the Energy Healing TV YouTube podcast, and she talks about chakras and balancing your chakras and raising your vibration and clearing your energy, cleansing your energy, healing your energy. So she talks about sacral chakras. So that is, she'll talk about how that affects your health, how that affects all the things, the symptoms and things. So that's why we do that. I'll pull a card, and what else do I do? And the books that I've been reading about health freedom, every single day I'll read a book relating to health, and I'll share what I've learned, what's going on for me as I build my spiritual business. One of the things that has helped me along the way through my spiritual awakening is to have a vision for my health. Yes, I have a vision for all of the 7 freedoms. I have a spiritual vision board challenge. It's a 7-day challenge if you haven't actually watched that. So I have a vision for each area, including health, how I want my health to look and feel as I do my work in the world. And so that helps me make healthy choices and decisions, usually. And I will share with you that I broke my fast yesterday. I usually fast on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's either fasting, I have a window that I eat in, or so I didn't break my fasting window as such because I didn't eat all day long, but I broke the fast as in a no eating day. And why? So I'll share that in a second. So let me share with you the quote for today. So the quote for today is, all things are difficult before they are easy. That's a quote by Thomas Fuller. All things are difficult before they are easy. Now, I don't know if all things become easier, but they definitely become easy, but they definitely become easier. So when I first was fasting, it was difficult. It was super difficult. It's like, because I wasn't used to it. But it has become, I wouldn't say easy, pretty much, but easier, a lot easier, let's just say. However, yesterday, I was talking about this, about being in the position when you have things going on, like family or friends or what have you, and just needing that friends or family needing more support, which we've got that kind of situation going on, and just family always coming first. But as you're building your spiritual business, sometimes you might not have allocated the time to have a space open up to really support your loved ones and really support your friends, really support your clients in a deep way, whatever that is. Just having something that is unexpected come up and it triggering a lot of emotions, or it being a stressful event or whatever it is. And so yesterday we had that. And so towards throughout the day I was fine, and then towards the end of the day I'm like, okay, this is a lot. This is a situation, a serious situation, and it's like, do you know what? I broke my fast. I felt hungry. But not only did I feel hungry, I was craving. And I looked into this today in an article and in the book that I was listening to, which is Louise Hay. And what else did I have? It was an article, or Abraham Hicks as well, talking about health. Anytime that I set a vision for whatever it is, I want to do it with ease, grace, and flow. So I set my vision, and I was like, okay, I've come to a dip in my vibration. So we rate ourselves every single day of how high vibe we feel. I still feel high vibe, and I have great health. I live in a very healthy body. However, when I set an intention to do something, I want to follow through, because I want to have the daily rituals and routines to support my spiritual business. And I'd set the intention. It wasn't horrible. It's not like I want to have that blame, shame, and guilt, as Robin says. Hey Jennifer, how you doing? Good morning, love. How you doing? Thank you. It's Health Freedom Tuesday. Today is one of the freedoms. And I was just saying, the quote for today is, all things are difficult before they become easy, as a quote by Thomas Fuller. And I was saying that for my health, we want to talk about the health of our business, the health of our health of relationship with money, health for all of the 7 freedoms, but our mental health, our emotional health, excuse me, our spiritual health, our physical health, and our environmental health. So I talk about this on the Spiritual Vision Board Challenge, excuse me. So for me, my vision for health, I'm really focusing on mostly my physical health, excuse me, excuse me, but noticing me breaking my fast yesterday. So it was going to be it's either a low calorie day or a complete fasting day. And so yesterday I had stuff come up, family stuff, and I was like, it takes willpower, so it's not easy to fast for me, and it's become a lot easier. I'm used to it now. And I broke my fast, but not only did I break it, I broke it with junk food. But excuse me, it took me a while to get to that point of breaking it. I was like debating it, I was like deliberating all the things, and I was just like, okay, it's either pizza or a McDonald's. And I went for a McDonald's because I didn't have to walk to the shop to go get the pizza, to get the pizza. And I'll express gratitude for that in a second. I'll express gratitude for having the money to be able to do that and the technology and all the things, right? So there's no blame, shame, and guilt, but I did break it. And so that's helped me, had me dip in my vibration, dip in my, like how high vibe I feel by not fueling my body. However, I was looking up emotional eating and eating around my cycle and all the things. So what I noticed was, since I made a decision to not eat potato chips, right, around my cycle, because that is the reason why I have the weight to release on my physical journey. I've only got like a few pounds. I'm like 3 pounds or something off over this last year. I've released a stone. For me, that is just never. I've always been really tiny, obviously pandemic and all things, whatever, hormones, all things, not working outside the home, all the things. However, I was doing really, really well. And I do really well. There's no, I do things with ease, grace and flow. But because I'd made a decision myself to fast and stuff came up, and I'd also made an intentional decision, it wasn't snapshot. I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to do that. And then I'll fast tomorrow. So I'm on it. But for our health, I wanted to know why. I wanted to know why that when my hormones are out of balance, or can you say out of balance, when it becomes that cycle, that menstrual cycle, I eat more and different things. I crave different foods. And so that's had me notice, as I've gone on and I'm tracking and all the things, notice for my health, it's impacted my health. And so I've been doing really, really amazing. And I do intentionally have days, so I'll plan out my meals and stuff. So something's gone off plan, like it did yesterday, it's not beating myself up, it's understanding what's behind it and what's underneath it. That's what I've been doing today, to give myself that ease, grace and flow, and to know what's going on in terms of why would you crave. Have you ever had that when you've craved, like around your cycle? Or I was looking up an article and it was saying about using food as a coping mechanism. Like there's some stuff going on, not for me personally, just at my niece. And so it's not even like immediate family, but we're very close, and you know, I care, and it's going to involve me. So I'm just like, okay, let me take my mind off it so you can eat. So when I looked up this article about eating on emotions, you can eat for anxiety, sadness, loneliness, boredom, all the things for relating to emotions. And so we're talking about emotional freedom Wednesday or tomorrow, but obviously that impacts your health, how you feel, right? So how you're feeling impacts what you do, like your mental health, your emotional health, your environmental health, all the things. So I wanted to link those two today. And so if you've ever had that where you've like been emotionally eating, and I was like, I'm an emotional eater because I'd done it a few days before when I first got this news, and I was like, I was on my fast again, and I was like, what? And I just was crunching this food, and I'm like, yeah, that feels better. And I was crunching, and I hadn't associated myself like an emotional eater, and I kind of half said that. However, I've noticed that there's a connection. And so I'm like, okay, let me explore what this connection is, because this feels new to me. It's not new, but it feels new to me to discover it, because when I'm on my cycle, it's like, it doesn't matter. I'm good with what I'm going to eat. I give myself grace. I allow that because I know I'm going to crave the food. And now I'm like, okay, I'm not going to eat the food because it's sabotaging the vision that I have. I want to be in my bikini in Thailand, feeling the best that I can. And I'm like, I do feel good. But anyway, so I've got a target goal weight. So I'm like, okay, well, if I do that and continue to do that, I'm not going to get to that weight. I've only got like 3-4 pounds, whatever. I'm good. So before I had a stone, do you know what I mean? For me, anyway, for what I wanted to feel and what I wanted to do. So in this article, there was a couple of articles saying about it's not the emotional eating, it's the repetition of that. If you repeatedly do that, which I don't, it's like when my cycle. So I'm like, okay, I feel better, no blame, shame, and guilt. But when you are, and if you do emotionally eat, then it can cause those diseases. And it's saying about diabetes, high blood pressure, fatigue, those kinds of things. So if you're suffering from any health, they say that emotions, disease in the body. Just make a note of that. Put that in your spiritual journal as you're eating throughout the day. What your eating habits like? What your eating patterns like? Do you emotionally eat? Do you eat when you're bored? Do you eat when you're sad? Do you eat when you're happy? What I noticed was I was like, we associate foods with happy, like party foods, that like what party foods, like what certain foods, and then junk foods, you know what I mean, healthy foods, whatever. And I was looking at the article and reading, and I was like, oh, okay. When your cycle comes around, then oftentimes you crave a certain food. I do. And it's different hormones that will increase your appetite. So I'm like, oh, you don't beat yourself up. You just notice what you're doing. So for me, when I was looking up the article, another article was saying emotional eating can emotionally eat in a positive way. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit of that. Because throughout the day, especially when you work from home, a lot of people experience this when the pandemic was going on and they were used to working outside of the home, and then they were working in the home, and then they were like, why am I literally attached to the fridge? So I've worked from home, and I've worked from home for years. So I've had that. It wasn't new for me. So there's a lot of discipline that comes from that, from being at home and working at home and having meal times and having eating windows and all the things. So I broke my fast. So what I want to say is that when I was looking up, I don't know the source of the article. So I was looking up the article, and one of them was saying that you can eat, I've got notes, in a positive way, like intuitive eating, mindful eating. Some people stress eat. I was just looking up the words and the labels around eating. And so one lady was saying in an article that you can intuitively eat in a better way, and it can actually help. And it is okay if you are soothing with food. And I was like, soothing with food, oh my gosh. And what she meant by that is that it's intentional, it's by choice. And that was intentional. So I'm just like, it's not emotionally eating. I'm an emotional eater out of control, because that's not who I see myself as. But I wanted to know what was going on. And she was saying about eating a certain food, but just, it's intentional for that moment. It's not repetitive. It's not all the time. It's not all the things. And I was just like, really, really intrigued. I'll probably look it up a little bit more, but I got the gist of, one, there's no blame, shame, and guilt. And two, I was fasting, so I'm just fasting today. And three, I don't use food as a coping mechanism. In that sense, it's just like I just broke my fast. And so what I wanted to understand was why would you crave a certain food? Why would you? And especially if you're working from home or you're eating on the run. I remember when I was out working out of the home and I was cleaning homes, I studied to a degree level, but when I came offline to help and heal myself first, I cleaned homes, right? And I was in the car all of the time, and I was eating on the go and all the things. So you just noticing, when you set a vision, you notice your habits, your daily habits and daily rituals and routines, which mine are very good. And I feel very strong in my body. And I'm like, I could make it. I don't have a health issue. When I first went on this journey, I had higher cholesterol than I've ever had, and it was tiny, a tiny point. And I was like, oh no. And I'd been eating differently, and I was like, definitely, absolutely not. That's not who I see myself as. My mum's mum lived to 100. That 101, that was her goal. And on her 100th birthday, I turned 40 then. I'm 49 this year. So it was 9 years ago. She was like dancing on the dance floor in the Caribbean, drinking rum. And I was like, I imagine myself to be like that. So if I don't manage and watch and see what my eating patterns are, what my health is like, then I'm hindering that process and that journey. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm paying attention to it. And so she was saying about intuitive eating. I was like, okay, I can do that. I can be mindful. I can journal. Some people do a food diary. When I was on my date last week, last Wednesday, we were talking about food. We'd gone out for a meal. And so if I go out for a meal, I plan it, right? So anyway, we went out for a meal and there was like junky stuff. And we were both like, nah. So we went to a restaurant that my daughter works at and we got a Buddha bowl. The Buddha bowl was amazing. I'm going to try and replicate that Buddha bowl. It was really, really nice. We both had the same thing and we both don't normally eat like pudding afterwards, but we had a cheesecake and I said, I can't have a normal cheesecake because of the digestive biscuits, the wheat in it. And so he was like, yeah, well, have you done a food diary? And I was like, I said, the doctors told me to do a food diary. I'm not doing a food diary. He's like, why have you not done a food diary? I said, I know which foods trigger my body. I just don't eat them. So he looks on the menu. It's like, I think that's vegan and it's gluten-free and blah, blah, you can have it. So and he is as well. So we both had it. So when I have something that's sweet or something that is a treat, and I don't even, now I'm realizing that foods, calling foods like treat foods, party foods, blah, blah, I want to go neutral on food. That's my goal today. As I was taking my vitamins and stuff, I was like, I just want to go neutral on it, like not be all that emotional on the types of food, like this is junk food, this is, I remember listening to Abraham Hicks and them saying, no matter what food you eat, it's the way in what you eat it. No matter, people smoke till like they're, I don't know, 105 or something. It's not what you do, it's the way that you do it. So that's what I'm going to be really mindful of. And when I was reading this article, the woman was saying, it doesn't matter if you've done it and you've had it intentionally, you can savor it and enjoy it. And I did with the McDonald's that got delivered to my door. Yeah, it wasn't a blame, shame and guilt. My body doesn't feel that great. You might associate, or I associated with, oh, that's a treat. It doesn't feel like a treat. It feels like, why would you do that to your body? As in, there's the aftermath of it. I've had my gut health and my vitamins this morning, and my tummy doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same. Jennifer said, doing good, woke up at 5:55. Yay, I love that. I love that. They're my numbers. 4:44 I get up at, or wake up at, and 5:55 I've got on my alarm. Rating today around 7, feeling groggy for some reason, just getting my first cup of coffee. When you say first cup of coffee, so there's more to come. I don't drink coffee anymore, really, unless I'm craving around my menstrual cycle, and I haven't for a while, but that's when it would come in. Fasting is tough, yes. Constant dreams of eating. Yeah, lol, the ego is playing tricks, absolutely. And one cookie, not the box. Yeah, thank you for that. It is, it's true. And fasting is tough, and so I'm committed to it. And I love doing it, and I feel better because for me, my digestive system, because I work from home, and for me to have that spiritual business success, I don't want to feel fatigued, I don't want to feel tired, I want to have that energy and I want to fuel my body. And so when I was listening to Abraham Hicks, I've got a playlist of, I don't know if you know Abraham Hicks, Jennifer, but Abraham Hicks's stuff, I've got a playlist for contribution freedom, a playlist for health freedom, playlist for emotionals freedom, environment, relationships, spiritual impact. So I was listening to that as I do my work today. I've done recordings, I'm up really early, so I've got long hours for the day, just like really basking in what I'm doing and giving myself time, just being really helpful, healthy, really mindful. And I was listening to it, and the guy was saying, why do people crave foods? And he was saying, Jennifer says, fasting is fantastic for the body and mind. Yes, I know, Abraham. Yeah, it is. And so I'm committed to that, to fasting. And a guy was saying, why do we crave certain foods? And Abraham Hicks was saying, well, Esther Hicks was saying that there's certain foods that you end up being a vibrational match to. Right. And I was like, this was the piece that locked in for me. I'm like, I get it. So I'll just listen to something on the playlist and I know that I'll get what I need. And so my takeaway from that was I was in vibrational match to that junk food. Like when I'm and knowing that and celebrating, because I eat very, very clean. I say 80% of the time and I'm good. I set that intention. So I've not got blame, shame, and guilt around the getting a McDonald's on what would have been fasting day and switching my day. I'm not, it doesn't matter, it doesn't bother me. It's just being mindful of the vibration that I'm on and actually noticing that coffee says coffee must be my vibration. There's certain foods that you crave and then you can switch out. I switch out my foods a lot. Thank you. And so for me, I realized, so this is my takeaway, that my vibration dipped in, meaning my emotions, right? So we had stuff going on, we were having conversations, we were waiting on people, blah, blah, blah. And so my high vibe went down. Obviously, I was thinking and feeling, I was thinking different thoughts, so I was feeling a different way. And so my vibration dipped, and then I'm like, I'm craving this. And so you over 80% of the time, I eat very, very clean. And what I wanted to acknowledge to myself is actually, if your vibration is matching the food that you eat, look at what you eat most of the time. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. So I feel good. I vibe in high. I eat very, very intentionally, very, very clean. And when I'm on it, I'm on it. And fasting is tough. It is tough. And so when my cycle comes round, or when anything comes round, I will journal. Okay, what can I do differently? If my vibration dips, do I go to the food, the junk food, because that's not going to get me to my goal unless I switch things out, which I have. Do I go to raise my vibration? Do I do something to raise my vibration rather than lowering my vibration with food and keeping my vibration lower? So that's, I'm just now like marinating in that. I'm like, okay, what do I do instead? And I did deliberate it, and I'm saying to my daughter, well, okay, well, will you do it? Will you order me the thing? And blah, blah, blah. And she's like, do you want it or not? I said, would you come to the shop with me? And she's like, no, because I don't go to the shop with her. So yeah, that was my story, like half an hour into this episode of health. Obviously, that's emotional health, mental health, physical health, and all the things. And I'm just like very mindful now. So my vibration, you've mentioned, Jennifer, that yours is at 7. We rate between a 1 and 11. Mine is at a 10 today. Well, it's at a 10 in the moment when I rated it. It's higher again, and I'm just going to leave that for the 24 hours, and I know that it'll be fine. But I wanted to dip and put it in my journal and notice as I wrote it down, because I want to go back to last week and then see what my rating is this week, so that I know what was my dip, why I had a dip, and so I can journal on that. And if you can hear a noise, my daughter's just got up, she's in the kitchen. I can notice the dip, and then I can say, oh, well, if that comes around again, which it's likely to over the next few days, then what do I do instead? Go out and walk in nature, and I almost came out of that cycle a little bit, and I was like, well, it's been on my mind, and I can hear the mind chatter, and I can hear what I'm saying to myself, so I might journal that. What I'm saying to myself. One of my friends, she's been a soul sister, soul family from childhood. We're accountability buddies for this journey, and we've dropped off a little bit. So I will pull back in with her on a Sunday. We'd have like calls and plan out our meals and stuff. So I'll pull that in. So I've got that accountability. So my vibration is 10. Last week, if you were with me, do you remember, or did you write down in your spiritual journal what your vibration was around your health, and what area of your health? So is it your mental health, your emotional health, your environmental health, your spiritual health, your physical health, your healthy relationship with money, your healthy relationship with your business, your healthy relationship with all the things? What is it that? And so, Jennifer, for you, you know that we rate between a 1 and 11. What would be an 11? What would be an 11? Excuse me. So oftentimes we don't necessarily know what an 11 would be. And it's like, who am I to rate myself at an 11? Like, who am I to high vibe when everything is not perfect? And what is a 1? So what would a 1 be, and what would an 11 be? So then you can gauge that, and then journal in your spiritual journal why it's the way that it is, and what you can do throughout the week to raise that vibration. I know that I've just switched my day, so because I've switched today, my fasting days have changed throughout the week. So it would be Monday, all my lower calorie days, it'd be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I've switched it Tuesday, so it'll be Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? So I've switched my week around, and the reason why I do it on certain days is because I plan my work. So that means it alters when I make those decisions. It has a ripple effect on the rest of my week. So, and the reason why I did it on a Monday, it'd be Mamma Mia Day. My daughter and I would have time together. I just ended up going to bed last night. I was like, I'm done with today. I went to bed. Abraham Hicks says I'm going to have a nap. So we didn't even actually have all of our Mamma Mia time, to be fair. And my daughter came home with, what's she come home with? KFC. She's like, Mom, do you want some? I'm like, no, I'm good. And I was like, okay, well, I'll have a little bit. And I had a little bit. And that's what started my gap, to be fair, because I'd say no, and I didn't really want to say no because we have that social thing of that family time and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. But it gave me a gap to start my head to break my fast. So now I know, like, to catch myself. Jennifer says breathing. There is breath called the VU. It calms the nervous system. Say it very long till you run out of breath. VU. Okay, thank you. LOL, I was at that aha last at one. No, you weren't at one. I was at that aha one last week that was caused by surrounding demands for me to task. No time. This morning I woke up intentionally for me time. Yes! I love that. Were you at a 1 last week? Have you gone from 1 to a 7? That is amazing. Just with that tweak in your daily ritual and routine, like, oh, well, this was what was causing me to have a dip, and this is what I'm going to do, put in place. That's it. That's it. In a nutshell, that is it. That is beautiful. And just note, and so then that's improving our mental health, emotional health, physical health, all the things. And it just sets the stage for the day, how we launch our day, lead our day, and leave our day. So I left my day. I launched my day, led my day really well. And I left my day in a different way to what I would normally leave it. So that was the reason for my day. Oh, yeah. Remember the 0? Oh, yeah, you couldn't. Was that around the health? I couldn't remember which day it was on. Yeah, you couldn't have a 0. I was like, we're breathing. Yeah. And now you brought in the breathing with the breath. I was like, we're breathing so we don't get a 0. Ah, perfect. Yeah, perfect. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. So if you're watching on the replay, when you think of your health, like your emotional health, your mental health, whichever area you're working on, whichever area you've got on your vision board of the version of you, in order for that to manifest. So whatever you put on your vision board, Jennifer, if you have one, it's like there's a version of you, right? And so when you have the daily rituals and routines that do not feel in alignment with that, that's where the dip and the contrast is caused. But then when the dip and the contrast is caused, it's like, what is it that I need to do? What is the actual physical action that I need to do to close that gap? So I love that. And Robin is here. Hey, love. How you doing? Good morning. Guess who went back to sleep this could have been Robin. So Robin, we were saying, because Robin and I talk every single day. So if you are new to me, Robin is our lead soul guided instructor for the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network and the SoulLegacyAcademy.com. So Robin, health, just looking after your health, right? So when Robin and I were first working together, Robin had she had a different 7-day challenge. So I talked about this 7 days to unblock your chakras challenge that Robin has on the Energy Healing TV podcast, which you can go through at any point. And you had the self-care one, and one of them was sleep. And I used to say, I nap. Well, like, if I feel like napping, I'm just gonna nap. And yesterday I'm like, I even just feel like napping. I just feel like closing my, I'm done with the day. Like any more on top, no, I'm just done. I'm good with it. I've had my fill for the day. That day, pretty much done for me. And I can't remember what time it was. I think it's probably about maybe even 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I can't remember. Maybe 8. I don't know. It wasn't past 9 o'clock anyway, for sure. I can't remember what time it was, but it was really early for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much done. So obviously we know that sleep impacts our health greatly. And I remember Robin saying, I don't nap. I sleep really well at night. And I was like, I do it. I nap. And I wanted to work on my sleep at night. And Robin, you've been having loads and loads of naps. And I'm like, why? And so sometimes when we get up earlier or when our sleep is interrupted, I know that you were talking about that on your live the other day, Robin, your sleep being disrupted. So I want to know how your sleep is being on a night time. And Jennifer says, hello, Robin, sleep is good. And Robin says, exactly, taking care of myself. Agree, Jennifer. Yeah. So is your sleep as good as what it had been at night? Is there a reason for napping in the day? And I think between us, between Robin and I, is like, just do what makes you feel good. Take care of yourself. If you need a nap, have a nap. The snooze button is not the best button to press in the morning. And sometimes when there's a level of resistance or there's a level of what have you, it's like, I wake up in the morning and I'm good to go. Like I put a routine in place where I'll listen to something. So I don't just jump out of bed. I'll listen to something. That's 10 minutes. And then I'll listen to Wiz Khalifa and whatever. And they go hard, go home. And by that, I'm ready and I'm up and I'm dancing. So like I do that anyway. Like I wake up high vibe. I know that, Robin, you used to wake up quite foggy and groggy. Like you've said, Jennifer, you're feeling that way this morning. That can have, foods can have that, hydration, drinking, stress, things going on, all the things. So just journal that out. Use your spiritual journal to journal why, what are the patterns, and is it interrupting your sleep? So Robin says, Health Freedom Tuesday is 11. Woo, woo, yay. So again, so Robin, we've done this part where you go back. What was it last week? Has it gone up? It definitely hasn't gone down. Has it stayed the same? And why? And so that you can do more of that, more of those things. And I know Robin and I are on this journey and holding each other accountable. I say to have a beach body. I don't know whether that's Robin's goal to be in a bikini. She's probably saying no. But that is mine for when we do our mastermind retreat in Thailand. I want to feel the fittest and the healthiest. I'm going to be 50 next year. Like I said, my goal is to live to 100 beyond, but at least get to 100 like my granny. So for me, I'm not even halfway there yet. So really being, taking care of myself. I'm really happy that yours is an 11, Robin. But wherever your vibration is, it doesn't matter as long as it's an improvement for you. And if it's a dip for you, so like you said, Jennifer, you could have honestly felt like a 0, but I'm saying no, we'll have a 1. We'll have a 1 for that because we're breathing. Okay, to jump from feeling like a 0, 1 to 7 in a week is amazing. And you might dip throughout for the different areas, but what we do is check in. We want to check in and run the momentum. So even if I dipped tomorrow about my emotions, or I dipped about it's not an 11 on my environment or my relationships. What my intention is, and looking back through the week, for last week, for last Tuesday, is to run the vibration for my health separate to the relationship freedom or separate to my financial freedom, although it's not separate and they entwine. It's managing my health. If nothing else was going great, my health was going great. Or if nothing else was going great, my business was going great. Do you know what I mean? So eventually they all stack up and they're all humming and vibrating higher. Yes, Jennifer. Jennifer says, yes, Robin. So Robin says, I'm up from 8 last week, napping. Perfect. Napping, eating, body movement is better, so I feel better about it. Can I get an amen? Love it. So you're both up, I'm down. by one choice. However, I would say that considering the circumstances, I'm not going to divulge that because it's not just personal to me. Considering the circumstances, trust me, 10 is brilliant. And that decision in that moment, intentional decision, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm really good. I just wanted to acknowledge where I was. I love that, Robin. So your daily rituals and routines, you see that, like your vibration, your ritual, the physical things that you do. So Jennifer said about spending time, taking time for herself, it's going to make you feel better. So you're napping, you're moving in your body, you're eating, all the physical things. People just think that, oh, well, I'll just feel better. Well, you can choose to feel better in a moment, in an instant. You can choose to smile and it'll make you feel better. But actually putting the daily rituals and routines in place habitually help. So Jennifer says, LOL, the entire family is still sleeping high. Yeah, I'm ready for them today. That's what I do. That's what I do. Obviously, my daughter's 19 now. My son would have been 27. But that's what I did when they were little. And I'm like, I'd get up. I'd get up at 333, 444, 555, whatever, or just when I was awake. And I would do almost a day's worth of work before everybody got up, and I was in that momentum. It's just beautiful. It's a gift that you can give to yourself. Some people are like, I don't want to get up early. I'm not a morning person. And if you've heard of the Miracle Morning book, I rave about that book all the time. And that really supported me in this journey. It really influenced this journey. Jennifer says, LOL, McDonald's took your point. Yeah, it did. Totally kidding, of course. It did take my point. It did take, and I knew it did. It's like, McDonald's. Yeah, it took my point, that decision, to break my fast, took my point. I can fast today and I'll be fine. But it was the decision to not follow through in my health freedom and making that decision. But I do it intentionally. Usually I'll plan. So then I wouldn't. So if I ate McDonald's throughout the week and I ate with my little lady and we had Mamma Mia time, I wouldn't lose a point in my vibration because I'd planned it out. It's because it wasn't planned. And I'd committed to that day. So that's my way of not the world, allowing the world to push and pull me, and keeping my vibration and keeping my commitment to myself for my spiritual health and my mental health and my emotional health. So yeah, McDonald's absolutely took my point. So I'm going to read the card for today because I want to respect your time. So this card, I was shuffling the cards. There's not as many in the deck. I'll reset the deck when I get super low. 3 cards came out and I was like, okay, well, which one is it going to be? And then out of the 3 cards I shuffled and this one came. So this one is Bridget, inner strength, right? For health freedom. So move back to wholeness. Every single day we get a beautiful card, and they're not like for the 7 freedoms. I've just made it up and said, this is from Cal Gray, Keepers of the Light. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. Absolutely. Bridget is a Celtic goddess of Ireland who is closely associated with the fire and time of spring. She is the twin flame of Cernunnos. She was so well loved by Celtic people that when Christianity came to Ireland, she was adopted as a saint of holy wellness and other holy places. She is a powerful figure who can help us channel our energy into something that is important for our growth. Absolutely. And a bee was on my window this morning. So I screenshotted my bee. I'm like, when I am at the window on the 2nd floor, like upstairs, bees keep coming to the windows. It did it the day before. And I was like, what is that? Like, it freaked me out. One day I was screaming my head off because I was cleaning my windows, environmental freedom. I was cleaning, and the bee was coming. And I was like, I was screaming, absolutely screaming. I'm such a wuss. So I noted what the spiritual meaning of bees were. It said about fertility of ideas, work ethic, all these things. So I brought that in today as well. She's a powerful figure. So this is the card. That is important for our growth. And as she herself has lasted through the ages, she adds longevity to our journey so that we can reach a deep state of wholeness. That's beautiful. You can call on her to bring her sacred flames to burn away anything that's not serving you, to bless any new projects you have in mind for the support of with fertility. And it's funny because it's family stuff that's coming, and I'm like, well, I'm not fertile like that. Like, I've been sterilized. That dude, that's not me. Like, do not wish that on me. But excuse me, more the projects and the ideas and the fertility. It's probably connected to family. Robin says inner strength. Boom. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jennifer says bright orange crystal she's holding. Is she? Ooh. That is. It's like flamed, I think. It's beautiful, isn't it? So the crystal for today is Tiger's Eye for the sacral chakra healing. Thank you. And obviously orange shirt, health, freedom, chakra, sacral chakra. Boom. Thank you for noticing colours. Okay. This is not long serving you. Extended message. Your spiritual fire is growing within. Absolutely. Absolutely is kind of, I'm done with that. And absolutely is the language that is coming to mind all of the time. Like, absolutely not. Absolutely. It's like that, just a decision. Absolutely or absolutely not. Recognize that the power of your soul is greater than you think. Recognize that the power of your soul is greater than you think. Looking at the world and my health through the lens of my soul, I don't have any health issues. Like, I'm living in a very, very healthy body. I feel amazing. So I'm not going to make an issue of eating a McDonald's by choice, but I am going to commit to and stay committed to my overall goal. The power of your soul, I love it. You have come a long way since you began this journey. I was saying that today on my recording. I was recording day 4 of my passive income stream, a 5-day challenge. I've got one more day to go, and I'm going to be doing that after my run and after Robin's live. This is a powerful force within you. Sorry, there is a powerful force within you, and you have the ability to create wonderful changes in your own life and inspire those around you to do the same. Be aware of new projects, opportunities, and fertile ideas that can grow into something larger than you may imagine. Call on the fiery goddess Bridget to light the way ahead. That is gorgeous. That is so beautiful. Be aware of new projects. 50k in 50 days, as I'm birthing a lot in over this 50-day cycle as part of the Bank 50k challenge, and I love that. And Jennifer says, oh cool, I have saved lots of bees that get in my house. Well, they are carpenter bees, so they are eating my house, I assume. Oh yeah. Yeah, they have a place and I save them. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Bees can see colour, recognise faces. I hear. Can they actually? They're like literally coming to me. I'm like, screaming. Set the ego aside to see the real truth. Beautiful. Yeah, card is perfect, isn't it? This card is absolutely, I love it. Thank you. I'm glad that you resonate, because it's for you. It's for me, but it's for you. And if you're watching on the replay, it's for you as well. Hang on. Robin says, same here, Jennifer. At my mom's house, there's so many holes, nests all around. She's not trying to save them, though. I'm not trying to save the bees. I'm just saying. I'm like, I just scream at everything, like any creepy crawly, any spider. There's been a spider in my hallway, a tiny little one, for days, and I keep looking at it and it's moved a bit, and I'm like, okay, just leave it. Robin says, I had not heard that before about bees seeing colour and recognising faces. Jennifer says, all the little beings. Yeah. That's beautiful. It is beautiful. If you are like you haven't got all the fear up inside of you. So the book that I read today, and let me know if you know Louise Hay, I actually put this into our playlist for the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network in the community. So if you attend the masterclass, my Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass Bank 50k, and 50 Days Challenge, I have a community that goes with that, and a Telegram channel and a monthly call to network and co-create and collaborate and have healthy relationships with like-minded people around us. And I popped this You Can Heal Your Life in the playlist. And again, I have playlists for everything on YouTube. I love YouTube. I'm so grateful for YouTube. We'll talk about gratitude in a second. So the book was chapter 8, and so I invite you again to find a book. This is the book that I wanted to listen to. I'll switch out the books if like I've read them or listened to them, or like I want a different message or a different energy. So You Can Heal Your Life I've been talking about for the last few weeks. So this was chapter 8, Building the New. And so Louise Hay said that when somebody would say I love you, she'd think, why do you, like, why on earth would you love me? Have you ever thought that with whoever it is that's saying in relationships with other people, I love you, and you're thinking, why? And she said that she would wonder why they loved her, why she was deserving love, and then sometimes you think, well, these good characteristics about me, I can see why people would then love me. Robin says, time didn't stop while I napped. Oh, got her on. Watch the replay. Love you, ladies. Love you too, beautiful. When you come back on. The time did not stop. Doesn't stop when we're napping. Jennifer says, they all have their place. Bees are very interesting. The carpenter bees hover, and I talk to them. Do you? LOL, I have my daughter doing it now. My husband doesn't save them. I don't say, like, I want it to like fly out of my immediate. I don't want it to sting. I've been stung by bees. And Jennifer says, see you soon, Robin. Just so you know, Robin, because the chat doesn't populate until like 24 hours after. So yeah, so she says, why would you love me? Then she'd look for characteristics of loving herself, like rather than just going within and just loving herself anyway. And so she says she'd hunt for these good qualities, and that'd make her feel better. She'd improve on her health. But then she says this, and I only listened to a little bit of this, and I got this, and she said, good health begins with loving yourself. So Robin just missed that. She'll come back on the replay. Good health begins with loving yourself. So Robin has on the Energy Healing TV the self-love and that self-love journey, and that's it. Good health begins with loving yourself. So on the Energy Healing TV, Robin will be talking about the sacral chakra, loving yourself, and having good health. So I love that. All right, so that is it for that. Those are it for my notes. I think we're going to go to gratitude, and then the bank 50k in 50 days. I think we've done very well. We're at almost an hour, so I want to respect your health, respect your time. Exactly. Right, exactly. Good health begins with loving yourself. Like, you really just loving yourself. And do you love yourself? And if you don't, and if you're looking at just those characteristics, ask yourself where that came from. And if you need some help around that, Robin's the clearing queen. She'll support you in that. Like, your thoughts and your feelings, your thoughts and your feelings and your habits. That's what it comes down to. All the things, the article that I read, the Abraham Hicks and Louise Hay, it comes down to your thoughts and your feelings, how you feel about yourself, right? It will impact your health. So we're going to go gratitude. And the way that I do gratitude for, grateful for you, Iona. Blessings. Thank you, love. Oh, thank you. You know I'm a crier. Like, so thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm grateful for you too. So when we do gratitude, the way that I do it for these intentional living codes, 7 freedoms, cheers to financial freedom frequency, the acronym for that is bring all of the 7 freedoms in to our day. Yes, I've got my orange t-shirt on. It's Health Freedom Tuesday. I've talked about all things health, my health, your health, or the health of the planet, right? So, excuse me. For me, success, spiritual business success, excuse me, comes from being successful and happy and healthy and whole in all areas of our life, not just focusing on one area, right? So we want to bring them all in. So for me, you want to do a spiritual journal prompt. This is every single day. use this as your spiritual journal prompt. Something that I say, I'm happy, I'm grateful, and I appreciate. And then what that is based on your contribution freedom. I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate something based on your health. I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate something based on your emotional freedom. Happy and grateful and appreciate environmental freedom, relationship freedom, spiritual freedom, and financial freedom. Bring the 7 freedoms in so that you're focusing on the appreciation of it, being really appreciative, really happy and really grateful. All of those emotions, like a ball of this energy of just like prosperity consciousness, right? And so if you think, oh, well, this is not going that well, my health is not going that well, like it sucks a little bit, blah blah blah, think of something that you're really happy and grateful for in the past regarding your health, and the things that you've done before, the things that you've celebrated, something in the present moment, and something thanks in advance. So if you do the spiritual vision board challenge with me, then you'll have clarity on your health, how you want your health to look and feel. So you can say thanks in advance for that to manifest. So I'm already saying thanks in advance to being on the beach in Thailand in my bikini. I'm just saying my bikini is hung up on my doorway. I could have done that yesterday, looked at my bikini and said, oh no, I'm not going to make that decision. I think I will. I'll bring in all the things and let you know how it goes. So I can say thanks in advance for that, for my health. I can say thanks in advance for my thanks presently for my health. I'm in really good health, and I can say thanks for the past for parts of my health. And so you want to bring that into the freedom. So if I go for me, for something that came to mind for my contribution freedom, the health of my business, being able to come on here and build me, be healthy enough to actually show up on camera. I'm in good health. I could have a cold, I could have just my general health to be able to contribute in this way. I'm really happy and grateful and appreciate my vitamins this morning, as like I could just pop them and not actually be grateful for them. Robin talks about blessing your food, and I haven't been doing it. I haven't made that a habit yet as part of my daily ritual and routine. I've been fasting a lot, so I haven't made it a habit. Jennifer says, how you feel in that moment of gratefulness is the magic spot. Absolutely. In order for you to be vibrant and healthy now, is how you feel, right? Loving yourself and loving life and loving the people that are around you. And if you have toxicity or what have you, then you just remove the things that are no longer serving you, as the card says. So that is the sweet spot. And if you have a vision, you want to be feeling the vibration of that before it manifests, in order for it to manifest. Otherwise it just won't manifest. You'll be pushing it away. So feeling calm, just feeling calm, my emotions, even though having the McDonald's yesterday, I still was calm to a degree, and rational to a degree of, you know, I was saying that why, you know, family stuff, and, you know, it's important to me, excuse me, but having a level of calm that's running through, I'm really happy and grateful for that I can see things objectively. Relationships, there's the relationships with my daughter. I love the relationship that I have with my daughter. We sat and we talked about this. You know, I actually rang her yesterday and I said to my niece, who's kind of in like a mini me as well, I said, let me just ring my daughter. I said, she'll just bring some light and some different energy, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she did, you know, it's just beautiful. So I love that relationship that I have with her, and the relationship that I have with my nieces, and for them to be able to see me as some kind of role model that they can lean on and actually have maybe a source of support, right? And so for my spiritual, my connected, my signs, my B, and so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to wake up, although I didn't want it to come through the window, but I can see. And the article that people write as well, you know, and that you're guided to people's work and guided to people's messages, and for the cards and things, and for all the knowledge that people pass on. It's beautiful. And so for finances, I'm really happy and grateful and appreciate having the money to be able to buy the junk food. I'm just saying, like, I'm like, I spent it and I was like, really, should I? Okay, it's double what it would be if I walked to the shop for it, to the restaurant. It's not that far. But I'm just going to order it anyway. And just for the technology to be able to shift literally digital money around, there was no money exchanged, right? Cash exchanged. It was digital. So I'm really happy and grateful for that too. So we'll do the bank 50K in 50 days challenge. So Jennifer says, delicious treat. And it came to you. It has its place. Yes, it was. It was really nice. It was a plant burger so, and an apple pie. And then my daughter got an Oreo ice cream thing. And I was like, okay. And I got a Coca-Cola, which I never normally get. Usually, if we do have a McDonald's, she'll say, Mummy, sure you want orange juice? You always get orange juice, but then you want some of my Coca-Cola. And I'm like, no, I just want orange juice. I always want orange juice. And she heard the ice in the thing, like in the bag. And she goes, have you got a different drink? I said, yeah, I got Coca-Cola. She's like, oh. So we shared that. So it was really nice. We chilled. Jennifer says, yes, it feels so lovely in you. And Robin's like, I was guided here. I feel that. Absolutely. And Robin and I set the intention to call in our soul family, call in our soul tribe. And it's not just anyone. Because our vibration is raising, the people that are not aligned can't be in this space. It won't hold it, that light and that love and that space. It's when you're ready. We're very intentional about the energy that we call in and the people that we have around us, especially on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, absolutely. I know that you were guided here, and we've meditated about it, we prayed about it, all the things. So the Soul Legacy Journal is a magical journal, right, that guided you here as well. This is the notebook version. And so what I set the intention for is for the Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge, for you to have a healthy relationship around money. And so to have choices that money will bring, choices in if you want to eat the junk food, choices in if you want to eat organic food, choices in where you live, choices in what car you drive, like who you live with, what you experience in this lifetime. So you might have dreams, you might have a bucket list of doing all the things, and then not have the finances to do that. So do you have a bucket list? Do you have things on want to make healthy memories? Sometimes we might have toxic memories, and so we want to have healthy memories. And I know that money is going to play a part in the memories that I support my nieces and children in making, right? So it's just huge. Yeah, cool. So the Soul Legacy Journal is a magical journal. It gives you £1,000, dollars, euros every single day. And wherever you live in the world, I challenge you to spend it on a daily basis. If you don't want to spend every single penny on a daily basis, at least tithe 10%. And the 10% that I tithe, which is £100 for me, is to Cruise Bereavement Care. And so you find a worthy cause that you want to tithe, that you want to have a healthy relationship with. Cruise Bereavement Care, they helped me in my bereavement, right? And so it was just amazing. They're just absolutely amazing. And so the Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge is set to put the energy out there to do really great things, right? And so to set a healthy vibration in the planet, to reset the energy, and it starts with us. So you think of your worthy cause, write that down in your spiritual journal as well every single day. So you've got your vibration, you've got your vision, you've got your values, and you've got you're noting where you are, right, and where you're dipping. So in terms of money, so if you have the money, right, vibrationally, to make choices, then it's going to support you in your journey in your spiritual business success. So you type 10%. If you don't feel like spending the money every single day, carry it over to the next day, and you can carry it over until Sunday. If you do not spend the vibrational money vouchers by Sunday, the remaining balance, you'll lose it. Robin's lost it. She's like, I never want to lose my vibrational money ever again. It's sending the wrong message to the universe anyway. And so you don't get to pay bills, because we want to come from the space that you have financial freedom already, vibrating at that. If you've done the Spiritual Vision Board Challenge, and you have a vision for your vibrational for Financial Freedom Sundays, then you want to be feeling the vibration of that. Jennifer says they won't see it, and that's fine. I saw something recently. It said, stop waking the sheep. It's time to wake the rest of the lions. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a Leo lion as well, so I resonate with that. Yeah, stop trying to wake the sheep. I'm not interested in dragging anybody kicking and screaming. That's why we're here every single day, putting that vibration out. And so this will be here for years. And it's like whenever somebody needs it, whenever you need it, you're watching on the replay, you get it. And so the intentional living codes and the 7 freedoms is for my students as well. So I'm taking what I would teach my students out and putting it on the Soul Legacy TV. So I have this on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast, and it's also housed within the SoulLegacyAcademy.com. So it's two. So it literally is for me, it's for my students, and it's for those who resonate with my soul tribe, right? So I say for soul family, soul clients, and my soul tribe, right? So it's just a message, it's what I'm doing, and I'm able to journal out the process. People are like, why would you do a journal? I don't want to do a journal. Dude, you need to do it even more so. Jennifer says, I was buzzing, LOL. I held onto a lot of my vibration and spent it all on Sunday. You held on to the vibrational money and you spent it all on Sunday? Yes. So when I first did this Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge, I was like, why? I feel guilty for not spending it. Then I was like, okay, let me carry it over. And then I was like, well, I want to make a bigger purchase. So I was like, okay, well, let me spend it on Sunday. So I just set the intention, spend it on a Sunday. I'm good to go. So every single Sunday. But if there's something that came up, I could spend my vibrational money voucher throughout the week. I've banked it. So banking 50K in 50 days is doing that. And the more you do it, the more you just free. It was so fun, was it? Yay! I love it. It's especially as spiritual beings, just as light workers, as spiritual business owners, as authors, speakers, trainers, mediums, healers, all the things. We have sometimes we tell ourselves and other people tell us a story about money that it's dirty, it's not spiritual, blah, blah, blah. And we're bringing that spiritual energy in and moving from a poverty consciousness to a prosperity consciousness. And it is fun. And we get to tell ourselves a different story. It's like, well, why was I blocked on this? This is an experience. This is how I can use this money to have it. I'm not going to be a greedy, horrible person. I'm not going to be like bitter and mean and do evil things with it. It's a story and it's not serving us. It's actually keeping the people that need it most, the people that are going to bring more light and be beacons of a light down. We're suppressing ourselves and saying that, you know, everybody else in the system is suppressing us. Our story is suppressing us. It's all energy, absolutely. And we say that, but then we don't apply it always to money. We don't always apply it to money and business. Also, we don't apply the energy exchange of our services. And I say on the Soul Legacy TV, we show up, speak out, and serve deep. That's an energy exchange. So I'm like, absolutely come to my masterclass, which brings me to the masterclass, and then I'll wrap up. So I have the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge. If you're a spiritual YouTuber, you want to be a spiritual YouTuber, you want to build a business online, and you also have a book inside of you, then I want to support you. And so I have my Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge, and I kick it off with the masterclass. And so come to the masterclass. I have homework for the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge where we actually start to do the maths, real maths of money. Yes, we do it vibrationally today on and every day, vibrationally in the spiritual journal with me, but in the Soul Legacy Academy, I actually share with you how to align your movement, your message, and your money, and do it in the visible world. So now you're at a vibrational match. You're like, absolutely, bring it to me, because now I've had these experiences vibrationally. I'm absolutely ready to have it in the physical. The universe will fill everything in and guide us and fill it in, and it's just experience. That's the condition, isn't it? The programming and this, so it's like, well, it's just a journal. No, it's programming, it's reprogramming, right? And so we want to reprogram what has been written, what is operating in our subconscious, and make it feel good, right? So we know that when something feels good, and we're going, so we'll do this tomorrow with the emotional freedom on Wednesday, it's how you feel is what's going to come into those experiences, your thoughts and your feelings. So when we change our thoughts around business, and we change our thoughts around money, and we change our thoughts around marketing, this is my marketing, this is my business. Really, Iona? Yes. Marketing for me is just having a conversation. Right? Am I so much for you? Absolutely. Am I so much for you? Absolutely not. Come to the masterclass. We'll do the Bank 50K in 50 days. We'll do the homework. Bonus gifts, mad bonus gifts for you. Mad bonus gifts. I love it. And then I have my book, which is called The Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, like literally building your spiritual business YouTube channel from scratch. I've just finished doing day 4 of the 5-day self-study challenge that comes with that. I'm about to go and record after Robin's live day 5, and it's done. I started this in 2020 and I've come such a long way since doing it first. So I have a 5-day challenge. It's $55. It's lit. People have told me it should charge $500 for it, and I'm always of the energy with money, offer 10 times the value that you ever ask anybody to pay. And that's on my plan, my 1-page plan that I give you as part of the masterclass on banking 50K in 50 days. We actually have a model for it. I love it. Yes. Jennifer, are you coming on the masterclass on Monday? Are you signed up for it? I don't even know if you are. That's all automated. I don't really check it that much. I've been inviting everybody in. Congratulations. Absolutely. So I have the book. You have a free chapter of my book. You have a pre-order of my book. I've given myself a year to write it. And I noticed all the ones there. And so I'll be doing book launch videos on the YouTube channel. They'll be coming up soon, as from next month, at least, maybe the end of this month, which is June right now. But next month, then I'll be in the writing mode for the book and the articles and stuff. And then I have a free chapter VIP day, which also comes with the book, right? So start, structure, and grow a spiritual business online successfully. With a #1 best-selling book launch. And so my book, I became a 4th time #1 best-selling author on pre-order. So I've co-authored books that have become #1 bestsellers, 3 of them now. And so my own is now #1. No need to sign up. Only if it resonates with you. Absolutely. Like the link to it is in the description of the video. You'd have to like log out of when you come out of it or on the replay, and I will put the details in the comments as well, in the pinned comment after the live. It's on every other day but this day, the pinned comment. I can only do that when I finish the live. And so there's the masterclass, my bootcamp. If you have a spiritual awakening story to share, whether that's on your health or another area of your life, then for my co-authors, Jennifer says, it does. I love your company. Thank you, love. It's a 4-hour training. I dive deep. The replay of it is going to be in the Soul Legacy Academy. I've got 1 replay as my channel trailer. I love it. I've done it before. I literally get carried away with myself. So it was like 5.5 hours before. I'm like, set out a good chunk of time, because I go really deep. I love it. I love doing it. I'm nervous at first. I'm like, hey, everyone. And then I'm just like rolling. You can ask questions, etc. So I've got a free chapter VIP day that goes with that as well, to support you in the homework. And the reason why I do that is, 1, I don't do one-on-one calls anymore. And 2, I made a vow when I figured this out, I would share it far, wide, and deep. I would share it far, wide, and deep. So I do that with my co-authors. I'll share on the masterclass how you can become a co-author and build your own author and authority platform, YouTube, Amazon. And I also host the #1 Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit, where I interview fellow spiritual YouTubers on their spiritual awakening story, because we're all awakening. More people awaken, more people awaken, more people are drawn to us. And so we have the Spiritual Ascension after show party and the Spiritual Alchemy giveaway. That's season 1 is October through to April, on the 2 middle binge watch Wednesdays of the month, 9 a.m., 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. UK time. So I have 7 seasons of that, 7 seasons of the book as well. Jennifer says, light and energy is fantastic, isn't it? So Jennifer says, setting my intention of having time LOL, that's my weakness, time. So I focus on your time, money, energy, freedom. So freedom, your vision. I'm redoing the vision board challenge in July. So you can come on that. Absolutely. Go Jennifer, if you go to the Soul Legacy TV and you scroll down the playlist, I've got the playlist for the next vision board challenge. 7 days, click notify me. It's going to be at 7:30 p.m. UK time. It's mid-July. When you get clear on your vision and the intentional living codes, it actually frees up your time because you don't have to make decisions all the time. So your time, money, and energy is where we're focusing. Intentional living is about the 24 hours in the day. How do you use them? How do you save that time? How do you save conserve your energy, so that you can allocate more time? I promise you, you will get, like you've said today, you're up and you're doing the thing. It's beautiful. Ask Robin. He says my dirty word, no time. Yeah. So I like literally. So I will wrap up, but I want to just like give this to you, Jennifer, because I automate what I teach. I've scheduled out my business literally for 7 years. Like that masterclass, I don't have to touch. The slides are done. The bonus gifts are done. All I have to do is show up on the last Monday of the month. No matter how many people, 1 person, 2 people, 1,000 people, doesn't matter. I can serve. I've set aside that time to serve. When I get up, everything has a system around it. Everything has a system around it, and delegation is the key as well. Because when we say, I know that you're saying your dirty word, when we say, and we believe that, and I know you don't fully, and I know that you're adjusting and shifting, but when we believe that, anyone believes that they don't have the time, I've got a quiz about this. It's actually a poverty consciousness. And so it comes from a space of lack. And when we're vibrating at a space of lack, then that's attracting, we're emitting that energy. So therefore we perpetuate that. But today you've decided, I'm getting up and I'm ahead of the game. So what we do is we schedule out your 24 hours, how you're eating, the environment that you're working in, how you're managing your finances, how you're contributing, how your relationships, date nights, using all of the time that you have so wisely that you can schedule out the things. I don't have to touch it. I don't have to touch my business. I don't have to touch the 5-day challenge. It will drip feed to you literally over 5 days. You'll get emails for that. The boot camp, I have an orientation call. Once everything's, I'll share with you. It's just beautiful. The 5-day challenge. I don't know if you've done that either. If you've signed up for that, it's the mirror. Yes. So the 5-day, if you're in, have you got a YouTube channel, Jennifer? So the 5-day YouTube from scratch challenge, I share with you how to build your spiritual business around what you're already doing. So you transition out of working for someone else. And when you're working for somebody else and making that transition, it's a hard game. There's a lot of juggle. But the way that I teach you it is to have passive income streams, leverage income streams. Like I don't have to touch it. Like I literally don't have to touch it. It's beautiful. And I can say, go sign up for the masterclass. You're like, where's the link? It's in the comments down below forever. And it'll run. Like if somebody comes to this video in 3 years, same system, and I will not have had to touch it. My assistant will reset it and reset the StreamYard. That's it. And she'll be on there. Oh no, I'm an artist. Are you an artist? Are you? So do you have your art on YouTube? Okay. Cool. Oh, I'd love to see your art. Artists have YouTube channels. So do you sell your art? We'll have to have a conversation. Do you sell your art? I love it. And we don't want to be a starving artist with no time, right? That creativity. No, LOL. You don't sell it? Okay, cool. I love that. Oh, wow. And then you water your babies. I love it. That creativity. Do you follow artist channels and stuff on YouTube? There's always a way and there's always a space. I don't know about you, but I think when we are able to make what we do is amazing. What are you making YouTube? Awesome. I love it. So if that's the way that you make a living. I've known other artists do teaching on art and all things, so I have a lot of ideas and stuff to leverage. And again, as an artist, you don't want to come from that space of lack. You want to have as much time to be as creative as you want, right? So I love it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Again, if you're watching on the replay, subscribe. Jennifer says, I was working on it. I have massive visions and trusted and followed it. So I don't believe that you've come here for no reason. So for me, supporting spiritual biz YouTubers, whether you're an artist, just creative, as a light worker, coming to bring the light in the world. And for me, I can see the vision of not just you doing the art, but teaching the art, or being in an environment doing that. You can share. There's loads of people that do also so much. I'd love to hear what your vision is. I had this massive vision and I had to break it down step by step. And then I've created a system that you can follow. Thank you, beautiful. You're welcome. Love. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on Health Freedom Tuesday. Yes, I was guided. I feel it. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. I'm excited. So when Robin and I first started to work together, Robin didn't know that she'd be doing what she was doing. Robin wasn't doing what she's doing now at all. Although she was doing it, there were seeds of her doing it and living it. And so we brought out what she was living, what she was doing into the YouTube space. And now it's just an energy healing lifestyle. So it's just beautiful. It's lovely. So I shall speak to you soon. Thank you so much. And I shall be back for Health Freedom Tuesday. And I'll also be back on Wednesday for Emotional Freedom Wednesday, because that is a thing. All right. Love you. Take care. Mwah.